Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to my live. For those that don't know me, my name is Marian Ninchi. I am a parent empowerment coach, founder and CEO of You Are Advocate Worthy. I help parents reduce their anxiety by having a bigger voice at IEP meetings so that their children can have better or more support in the school system. Today, I'm going to be chatting with Freedom Kolb, CEO of the Milk Bank, about the importance of employer flexibility for special needs parents. We're also going to be chatting about the Milk Bank and its wonderful mission, which is so dear to my heart, and you'll hear why. And also, I used to work there, so I definitely appreciate the mission even more. So I won't delay any longer. I'm going to get Freedom on the live with me. So Freedom, if you can click the join button, join live. Let's see. Just waiting for Freedom to request to join the live, and then we'll get started. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I just sent okay, got it. Hi.
Hi, Marian. How are you?
I'm good.
You
So
too.
good
Thanks
to
for your
see
patience
you.
with my technophobia issues.
Oh, no problem. No problem at all. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I really was excited when I heard that you'll
Yeah,
be joining with
we've
me. So,
missed you. So this is a great opportunity, and I know all
yes.
the work you are doing aligns so well with our mission. So you can call us anytime. You know that.
Yes, absolutely. So please, can you please tell our audience about the Milk
Yeah,
Bank
so
and its
the Milk
mission?
Bank, we're a living tissue bank that is exclusively dedicated to combating infant mortality. So very similar to blood banking, we collect and screen, pasteurize and dispense donor milk, hoping to ensure that all those born too sick, too small, too soon have their best chance to survive and thrive. So we really see our job is to help celebrate more first birthdays and keep families whole.
Absolutely. So I love I was telling everyone earlier that I love the Milk Bank and its mission because I've had experience with the Milk Bank before starting to work with you all. So it was when my daughter was in the NICU, we were able to get milk donated to her, and it helped so much. And I'm really grateful for this mission for the organization. So in addition to working for such a wonderful organization, how do you personally balance motherhood and working
Yeah,
full time as a CEO?
when you and I have talked about this before, for me, I just feel like I've come to terms with balance is something that occurs over time, and it's not something that I often find moment to moment or day to day. I think a few things have really helped me. One, my kids know they come first. And so I think that really empowers me to make decisions day to day, and working with an aligned company. I think my employers would want me to put my family first. And my children are also old enough to know what I do. They're excited about the mission. They've actually volunteered at the Milk Bank. And they know how proud I am of the work that I do. And so in those moments where priorities feel like they're competing, I really feel like I have the blessing of both my employer and my family to make the best decision possible. And so sometimes that leads to chaotic, days, but I think the kind of a body of work, it really helps me balance that time.
Yeah, that actually leads us to my next question. How important
Oh
is
gosh.
self-care to you
So
as a mom?
I I will, let me start with saying self-care is super important. And that's the soundbite I want everyone to hear. And let me tell you, I hate the term self-care. I think for moms, it turns into
You do?
another thing we have to do, right? Like you have to cook healthy and you have to, you know, look great and you have to then exercise your 30 minutes a day and all of these things. And so for me, self-care is about giving a lot of grace to myself. It's about sometimes practicing gratitude. I don't need to schedule a big event. I can just, you know, grab 15 minutes in the morning on a call with a friend or even watching junk TV at night. You know, to me, all of those things are self-care. But most important, I think it's really taking the time to reflect when you're on empty, when you are burnt out, what the signs of your own personal burnout is, and then being willing to do something about it. I think as women and definitely as moms, we put everyone else first and we're not always willing to do something when we see ourselves running down. And it is super cliche, but I really believe more than self-care. I think that doesn't resonate with a lot of moms because it can feel almost selfish, but the idea that we can't pour from an empty bucket, that we can't help our friends and our family and all of those things if we're running on fumes.
Absolutely. I love how you said you don't have to schedule a big event
Right.
like, oh, this is my self-care day or something.
Yes,
You can schedule like 5 minutes to just cool off and breathe,
that's right.
hide in the
That's
bathroom
right.
or something for 5 minutes.
It's just sometimes putting yourself in timeout is enough self. Like we don't all have time to get massages and girls trips. Like we, you know, let's do it if we can. But I think we can grab those minutes and moments every day too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, how does the milk bank support parents of special needs
You know,
children?
I think that's really the heart and soul of our mission. Again, you know, our work is to serve critically ill infants, period. And as a secondary component, our work is about empowering women and especially moms. And so I think we try to do that and hold that dear in everything we do. And and sometimes that comes through really loud and clear because we're, you know, producing milk to send back to the NICUs or to families in need. And then sometimes I think it's a little more quiet in how we come alongside and listen to our families and let them tell us what they need from us. I think sometimes it can be reducing stigma to families. Like when we talk about the NICU experience and you know the stress that comes along with that, when we talk about the breastfeeding experience and the stigma that comes along, and is breastfeeding truly a choice without paid family leave and some of the other supports we have, I think all of those contribute to supporting all families, but especially special needs families or even families that their infant is experiencing a special need during this time period. I also, my sincere hope is that we also walk the talk. So we try to develop very family forward policies. You know some of them, but you know you can bring your baby to work here for
Absolutely.
the first 6 months to really encourage that bonding
Yeah.
time and connection. We do offer flexible work schedules, you know, where folks can design what they need around their family needs. So we actually have a couple positions open now. So if folks are looking for,
Oh,
you know, a space that really protects families and supports women, we'd love to have them join the team.
do you want to
Yeah,
share what
yeah,
those
we have
positions
a
are? Maybe.
advancement specialist role of, I'm sorry, an advancement coordinator role that will be looking at major gifts and fundraising for us. And then we're hoping to also be opening up regional positions in the Midwest here in the next month or so. So we're just growing, Marion. As you know, every year
Yes.
it's, you know,
Yes.
the demand for our help is increasing. So we're just really trying to add team members. And if you love the mission, but you're not looking for a full-time job, we also have the most amazing volunteer
Mhm.
programs, whether that's student or individual or corporate. Really, anyone can get involved with the milk bank.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. I'm sure a lot will benefit from that. And
Um,
there's a link
that's
here
my
that's
amazing team.
stuck
Yeah.
in there. Let me see. Let me see if I can pin it. Yes, I pinned it. Okay. So, so thanks for sharing that. Okay, so what is your biggest advice? Like, what is your biggest piece of advice for parents who are looking for more flexibility in their
I
work
think,
schedule?
honestly, it is to be your own best advocate, which I know is all about the work you're doing, Marianne. And I think,
Right.
having your support and resources to come alongside families, I think, knowing what will work best for you. And then when you have the confidence to take that to your employer, I think when you make the request that you need, employers are really invested in attracting, recruiting, and retaining top talent. So I think it can be a real win-win situation for the employer. But there's a lot of, it's been heavy in the workplace especially the last 3 years with the pandemic and navigating hybrid and all of those things. So when you make a request, if you can come with the request and a solution, make it as easy as possible for folks to say yes. So think about what questions they're going to ask you in advance, right? They're going to want to know, do you think this will impact performance? How might this impact collaboration, and how you're interacting with your colleagues? They might ask, is there an internal equity question? Like, are we able to treat everyone in the organization in a similar fashion with flexibility? And if you can come prepared to answer those questions and give them a solution, I really think most employers see themselves as, flexible and supportive, and they want to say yes if they can check those boxes.
Absolutely. And I feel what you said really resonated with me, because I feel like when I was working there, I was forthcoming with you about everything that I had to do, from doctor's appointments, therapy appointments. So with my daughter, you were definitely accommodating, and
Well,
I'm
the
forever
thing I
grateful
think
for
you
that.
did so brilliantly,
So,
and that everyone, is become a team with the employer, right? Like, to me, when we were looking at things like that, we were just trying to solve a problem together, right? And it didn't,
yeah,
there. If we could give you that flexibility and you could give us, such amazing results, again, it just turns it into a win-win for everyone.
absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. So is there anything new happening at the milk bank? I know you mentioned a few, but if
Are
you
you
want to
always scared to
elaborate,
ask
you
that? I
can.
feel like there's always something new going on at the milk bank. She was like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else is
Well,
going on?
probably the biggest new news, even though it's not brand new, is we pivoted last year to really help families during the formula shortage. So typically we serve critically ill infants, and over the last year we've also been helping families that couldn't find a replacement formula for their babies. So in some ways we were bridging a gap for healthy infants so that they didn't become ill. And what that has done is it's really driven demand up. So now we need to secure about 119 new milk donors every month. So that's the news. That's what's new for us, is we just need to be bringing in more and more milk donors in. And so if folks who are listening to this, or that this reaches and touches, can even share that they learned about the milk bank, we believe there's somebody in everyone's network that they're the only ones that can reach them. And so helping us message that. And then Give an Ounce is right around the corner, which is our philanthropic campaign. So for folks who cannot, not everyone has the superpower to donate milk, right? But everyone can help save an infant life. And we usually ask that folks sponsor, at least $5. And that covers the cost of safely processing a single ounce and making sure it gets into those tiny tummies.
Oh, amazing. So okay, so you mentioned donating. So if a parent has question about human milk banking,
Yes.
who can they reach out to you?
Yeah, right.
I know it's not
So
you,
for
but
all the moms that are like pumping at 2 a.m., they can start with any of our social media pages. So, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. We're also dabbling in TikTok. So we're at themilkbank.org, or at the milk bank. And then our website, of course, is themilkbank.org. So anyone can start there. And then I would just pick up the phone and call us, because what we've done is we have really this great team that is designed to be custom to who calls. So, if you're a family that thinks they might need milk, we have an incredible outpatient specialist that can get that milk to you as quickly as possible. If you're a mom that has questions, if you're eligible to be a donor, our donor screening and clinical team really are right there for you. But as I mentioned, it could be your school has a service learning project. It could be your company is looking at, an offsite department meeting, and really give us a call, and we'll triage you to the right person that can meet those needs.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming and really sharing your experience as a mom, the mission of the milk bank, and also the job openings are pinned
I love
here
it.
in this
I love
link
it.
over here. So yes, I love the fact that you guys are expanding, and I can't wait to hear more about
Thanks,
what's going
Mary.
on at the milk bank. So
Thank you for thinking
thank
of
you
us.
so
We got to
much.
get you in to see the new space sometime.
Yes, I will make a point to do that too before the end of this year.
It was good seeing you.
Yes. All
Okay,
right.
you too.
Enjoy the rest of
Bye-bye.
your day. Same here. Bye.